I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe. I want you to breathe.
Hello, friends. We're back. We're Black and Curious. I'm Kandron.
What up? What up? It's Deja.
And with the holidays being upon us, we thought we'd come and have a little fun, talk about some of our favorite holiday memories. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
Honestly, most of my favorite memories, even though for many years I have been since I was probably like 15, 16, mixed Scrooge, which is interesting. Um hated Christmas. But this, I think this may have been around, it had to be around Christmas. I don't know. I don't even know if this is a holiday memory, but either way. So
Fine. Thanksgiving
years
and
and years
Christmas
ago, it
holiday.
was cold. I think it was Christmas time,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, one of the two. Either way. I am originally from New Jersey. I think I've mentioned that before. So I'm a little northern and a little southern. So every holiday season from the time we moved here, my mother always was like, we're going home. I hate Virginia.
Cool.
This particular year we were home and we were out and about, like getting like things to make for dinner or for breakfast or something like that. We would always go and stay at my grandfather's house. My grandfather had this huge, I don't know if I would say it's not like a Victorian style house, but it was a huge house that had 3 levels above ground and then a basement, a big ass basement that was the whole like length of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So we're out running around to get things for, whatever festivities we're gonna do at my grandfather's house. And I don't know, we was coming out of the parking lot from the ShopRite and into the roadway. We kept going, right? ShopRite is like, I don't know, any grocery store, Food Lion, whatever. So that. So as we're in the lane and we're just, we coming on down the road. It's raining, it's cold and all that kind of stuff. This lady out of nowhere comes flying down the street in the same, so it's two lanes. We're in this one. This lady comes flying down the street like a fucking bat out of hell. And like, I don't know what she thought was going on, but like she swerved into like this.
Oh
She's
my God.
literally swerved off the road and ran up the side of this stack of fucking mulch at like a
Not a stack of mulch.
y'all, on everything I love, that lady looked like she was trying to take off in a rocket ship because that car went up so high. It went up the length
Oh my
of the
God.
building. And so
Oh my God.
me and my cousin, who I talked about in the previous episode, we sit in the back playing Uno because Black cousins, right? So we sit in the back of the van playing Uno, and both of us was like, oh shit. Now, mind you, we ain't supposed to be cursing. I think I was like 12 or 13, and he might have been either he was 15 or 16, one of the two, right? So we looking at each other and we looking at my mom and my aunt, our cousin, and fussing and carrying on. And I'm like, like they're like, what the hell? And so we leave, we get, because we're in a lane where you got to keep going. Jersey is serious about that. They'll ticket you or whatever. So we got to keep going. We take the turn around the corner, and this crazy lady follows us with her damn bumper hanging off the front end, like flapping in the wind. Okay. So she's like yelling and cussing and fussing, and we're sitting at a light because my mom's trying to circle back around to come back to the scene of the incident, right? The lady, we never connected. We never were in her lane. None of the things. She just crazy. I think the lady was high. Okay. So the lady cussing and fussing and yelling out the window and throwing shit at the van that my mother was driving. And so my aunt hops out of the car, who is my man in Gemini, right? She hops out of the car and is like, we trying to turn up around.
Oh dear.
This is probably not a great holiday story, but it's funny to
I mean,
me.
it's funny to you. It sounds like a riot. I mean, good Lord, it was a lot happening.
It was a lot happening. Me and my cousin was rolling, and we still be cracking up about that. My mother and I were talking about this not too long ago about that lady and her rocket ship.
That's funny. My memories are like more, I guess, sweet. I don't know. One of my favorite memories is my mom didn't really wrap gifts for me. But it kind of turned out okay because it would just be like everything was just laid out. So I would come downstairs, on Christmas morning and be like, "Oh my god!" and like having a full like sensory overload, thing. And then my godmother doesn't have kids, so she would probably double what my mom bought. So it would just be like crap everywhere. And I was just like having a full on meltdown. And that's like my favorite Christmas memory. And I'll say my favorite Thanksgiving memory is actually being with, I guess, sort of like chosen family. Um, my adopted chosen family. So I was in Atlanta, and one of my friends, I was with his chosen family, and it was just lovely. Like, I come from a family that's very big and loud and boisterous, and a good time, a very good time. I love my family. I love being around my family. They're fantastic, but it can be overwhelming and sometimes. So this was like just a wonderful holiday. I think there was 6 or 7 of us, and we all sat at the table and we passed plates and we shared stories and we talked and we laughed. And like at my family's gatherings, like there isn't space for all of us to sit in one
Charlotte Lane.
table. Like
A lot of
you're
y'all.
lucky if you have somewhere to sit at all. Like there's people in the living room, there's people in the dining room, there's people in the kitchen, on the couch, and upstairs there's a sheet for the kids, the whole thing. But like it was just lovely to sit all of us together eating on like proper plates with proper utensils, and like, because when you have a big family, like you use paper or whatever. And
Mhm.
and we just sat there and we laughed like for hours on end. And then at the end of the night, we kind of like watched movies, and it was just a lovely, lovely day. And I very much enjoyed that. And it was one of those sort of times where I was just like, okay, it doesn't always have to be grand. Like sometimes it can
Yeah.
be a small group, and you can just have the right group of people and have a really good time. So that's 2 of my favorite memories.
Totally, I love that. You made me think of one of my biggest thing, and probably why I became mixed Scrooge is because once we moved into the house that I ended up growing up in, my mother, every holiday, be it Thanksgiving or Christmas, we would have like a huge family dinner, which would include like family friends that were family essentially. And so when we finally were able to sit at the adult table, Black families, you got the kids table, you got the adults table. We were finally able to sit at the adult table. One year we had, even my grandparents were there, and there was a moment in conversation going around this huge table, because it had to be like maybe 14 people sitting at a table is a lot for me. That I don't know why, but for some reason my grandmother she was eating something, it was good to her, and the next thing you know, her denture fell out. And we were sitting at the table like, now mind you, this is like my very prim and proper, you got to be dressed down, hair done, makeup on grandmother. Okay, she's the one with the stole, and matter of fact, she's the one who wants to give me her fine china.
Yes, grandma.
So, she did not normally, because everybody was silent. When I say nobody laughed, because she's also a lot on the mean side. Okay, nobody laughed. We just sat there like, and when she started laughing, it was like a like a laugh track just played over the table, because everybody was cracking up.
That
It
is
was too
funny.
funny, because she doesn't lose her cool. She's very like, we
Together.
together all time. So, but yeah, definitely one of my favorite memories. And then I think the other that I had was, even though the kids were, supposed to be at the kids table, we always ended up sitting in a line on one side of the table, like we wasn't allowed to sit anywhere else. So it would be my sister, my cousin James, and myself, because I was the youngest. So like my mom on the end next to me, my father on the opposite end next to my sister, my aunt on the other side of the table next to my mom, my Uncle Daryl and Faye and whomever else got invited around the table. And so as the years have gone on, it kind of like dwindled down in terms of people, but I always love just sitting there and listening to their stories because they just crack me up. Like our elders be some funny people and are not even trying to be, which is what I appreciate. So
I have one more.
Oh yeah,
really
go ahead.
Quick. I do like hosting. I like hosting things. So I always enjoy when my friends come over and do cookies with me. Dehjai has come. She has brought wine. She has brought the things, and we have had a good time. So I always enjoy that. I'm not doing cookies anymore because people are ungrateful. But and then my mom would make us crab cakes, and we would eat crab cakes with lots of hot sauce, which is my favorite. And
good time.
Enjoy each other and enjoy my friends and my cousins and all of that stuff. So I love those times.
Y'all drop it in the comments and let us know what are some of your favorite family memories. And we might be able to keep this going and maybe share a couple of others since we only got to 2 of them today. And we'll see you in the next conversation. Thank you for watching and follow us on all our social media. Bye.
Bye.